Behold! You may look at this animal and think, wow, a base, disgusting creature. But in fact, this disgusting creature is more based than base. He's got 15 tops under his belt, and would have more but for the body odor policy. His secret? Slop. Good afternoon, jank enthusiasts. I'm MBT, and this is 10-Minute Testing. In case you didn't know, I have a Patreon, and every month my patrons get together and brainstorm new and exciting ways to make my life miserable. This month they picked everything. Presenting as many engines as we could find topping at once, Sky Striker, FIENDSMITH, RYZEAL, MISTURUGI, Magnet Warrior. So here's the list. It's a real one that topped Austin Wheeler's top 8 list from the Des Moines Regional. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Despite what some Yu-Gi-Tubers who shall not be named would have you believe, the TCG is alive and well. And if you're looking to start your journey into paper, there's no better place to begin than Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. With up-to-the-minute reporting on every major tournament worldwide, searchable and interactable pie charts and deck lists, and all the bells and whistles you've come to expect from one of the best draft and collection management sites on the net, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is the place to be. Check it out today at www.YGOPRODECK.com. Now back to the video. With that, let's slide into the slop. Sky Striker, FIENDSMITH, RYZEAL, MISTURUGI, Magnet Warrior is one more in a series of a re-emerging trend in Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck building. Back in 2016, right at the release of Grass, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Player base collectively entered a fever dream and just started jamming as many engines into their decks as possible. This brief period of engine slop has reared its ugly head a few times since then, but recently it looks as if it's here to stay. If you've been on the site formerly known as Twitter and safely dodged the Nazis and child pornography, you've probably seen pro players trotting out a new 60-card monstrosity every few days. Yummy Slop, Mitsu Slop, Canine Slop. These decks defy classification because often they're playing like 6 different engines. How do you meaningfully distinguish between Yummy FIENDSMITH Sky Striker Mitsurugi Nouvelle and Yummy FIENDSMITH Mitsurugi Nouvelle RYZEAL? Such is the task before us today. AustinYGO has already given a detailed breakdown of their deck on their own channel, and there's a link to that in the description, but the short of it is most of these engines, through Camellius, through Duo Drive, through Exciton, can get to the others. The end result is a deck with a ceiling like you wouldn't believe, with a similar percentage of Garnet's engine and non-engine as a 40-card deck, even though the numbers are way different. So with that, let's get into the card by card. We'll begin with our Magnet Warriors, 3+-, 2 Sigma-, 1 Omega+, 1 Sigma+, 1 Tellusion, 1 Epsilon, and triple Beta. A quick detour for some RYZEALs, 1 Ext, 2 Ice, and 1 Sword. We are on both Ray and Rose for 0 reasons, triple Duotarion, and then a Fabled Lurie, a Lacrima, and double FIENDSMITH Engraver. We are on a Saji, a Murakumo, a Habakiri, and then a whole bunch of hand traps. 2 Ghost Mourner, 2 Nibiru, triple Ash Blossom, triple Fulos, triple Perulia. For spells, we're on 3 Magnet Bonding, a Bonfire, a RYZEAL Cross, triple Mitsurugi Prayers, a Ritual, a Mirror, and double Pre-Preparation of Rites. Guess how many times we drew Mirror in testing. 1 Tracked, 1 Mecha Hornet Drones, 1 Mobilize Engage, double Forbidden Droplet, and double Infinite Impermanence in the extra. We've got 0, which explains the Ray and the Rose, a Camellia, a Kagari, Sequence and Requiem, and then Mirror Logic Aggregator, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight to get into Requiem, Gallant Granite, RYZEAL Duo Drive, RYZEAL Detonator, DDD Wave High King Caesar, Lacrima, Necroquip, Flux Ocean Field, and Conduction Warrior Plasma Magnum. In the side, we have the entire Nat Beast line. Austin actually explained on his channel that he boarded into it going first, but understood it was so bad going second it really wasn't worth putting in the main here, the researcher as well. Santa Claus and Drone Lockbird, the 3rd Nibiru, triple Raigeki, double Infernal Punisher. No, you are not watching deck swap. This is really in the list. Triple Tactics Talents, Crossout Designator, Called by the Grave, and a Valen. So with that, let's hop into some games. Our first match is up against Malice, which puts me in a really rough position. I have to choose between a deck I wish was dead and a deck that probably shouldn't exist. We are going first. We're going to begin with a copy of Pre-Preparation of Rites, which will fetch a Ghost Bell from our opponent's hand. We'll follow it up with a Duotarion to get a copy of Magnet Bonding. Hands all gas. We'll go for minus here to summon a copy of Conduction Warrior Plasma Magnum, activate its effect into an Infinite Impermanence. We can keep going. We'll bin 2 to get our copy of +- onto our side of the field, then we'll use a Sigma to bring back this copy of Electromagnet Warrior Beta. We will grab an Epsilon to hand, then normal summon the Epsilon, activate its effect as a copy of Beta, eat the Impulse, and then afterwards we will just go ahead and activate the Omega Plus and perform a fusion summon courtesy of Magnet Bonding. That will get us a Flux Ashenfeld, which allows us to reborn a monster from the graveyard. We will pick a 4-star so we can activate the effect of Sigma Minus, send a card to the yard, and make Duo Drive. All right. Let's grab a copy of Sword and a copy of Cross. We will link off for a Camellia, send a copy of Hornet Drones to the graveyard, grab it back with Kagari, activate Hornet Drones, and now it's 0 time. 0 can tag out for both a Ray and a Rose, 2 4s, which means we can also overlay for a copy of Exciton Knight and then make a Requiem off of that. Requiem will summon from deck a Lacrima, who will send a Fiendsmith to the yard. We'll activate the graveyard effect of the Requiem, targeting the Lacrima in order to make a Necroquip Princess, which means we get to insulate the remainder of our combo against our opponent special summoning anything. We'll summon out a Sword RYZEAL, activate the effect for an extra RYZEAL. We'll use the effect of the extra RYZEAL, sending a Mirror Logic, then go cross into Detonator, equip this Mirror Logic Aggregator, summon back the Delusion, and pass back to our opponent on a 3-card hand. They're going to begin with a copy of Chessy Cat. They'll activate the Chessy Cat effect. We'll activate Delusion. That will send it. They do get the cycle. They'll summon back this copy of White Rabbit into our DDD Wave High King Caesar, followed up with the Terraforming, to grab a copy of the Field Spell Mouse and Underground. I let this go because really no reason not to. The Dormouse comes out. We'll activate Delusion here. We'll summon back the Sigma Plus and the Sigma Minus. They will go for Dormouse. We will negate it with Cross. They'll go for Link Disciple and Wizard. We'll negate it with DDD Wave High King Caesar, and they'll scoop it up. So that's how the deck performs on the play, but what does it do on the draw? Well, for game 2, our opponent's on Branded Dracotail, and well, we've opened Ghost Mourner twice. Okay, well, that's going to have to do it. They're going to begin with a copy of Branded Fusion. They'll summon out an Albion. We can negate that with our Ghost Mourner, but it may not be enough. They get to trigger the effect of the Fricks for a Rahu Dracotail, and then, of course, afterwards, they can go for Blazing Cartesia the Virtuous using its fusion effect in order to make a copy of Secretarion. Lucius triggers here as well to get a copy of Ketu, and then Secretarion triggers, targeting 2, in order to summon out the Lucius and shuffle the Walbaz back. They will grab a 5 mana off the Lucius and then activate the effect of the Rahu for an Arthalion, trigger the effect of Arthalion CL1, Phimena CL2, Urgula CL3, set a copy of Flame, and set a copy of Sting. From here, they'll refill the hand, then go Ketu in order to grab a Pawn. They'll go Phimena afterwards for a Gulamel, trigger the effect of the Pawn in order to set a Horn, and the Urgula in order to cycle back the Phimena. This is probably going to end the game. Finally, in end step, they will activate the effect of the Arthalion to set the Fallen of the Virtuous, and even get back the Ecclesia. So we're going to begin with a copy of MISTURUGI Prayers. That will grab us a Habakiri. We'll activate Habakiri into Ash Blossom. Miserable. Okay, well, we can go for Fiendsmith's Tract into Flame, right? Yeah, okay, well, one last thing we can do here. Let's summon out this plus minus. We'll activate our graveyard effects here in order to summon back Beta. We'll trigger the effect of the Beta in order to grab a copy of Sigma Minus. We'll activate the Sigma Minus in order to fusion summon a Plasma Magnum, then activate its effect in order to grab Bonding. We'll go for the Bonding here, and that's going to enable us to get the Epsilon to our grip. We'll trigger the effect of the Conduction Warrior plus Magnum. They're going to go for Sting, chain it with Gulamel. Down goes my guy, and they get a draw. We can normally Epsilon in order to send an Omega. We'll special out the Sigma Minus into a Fallen and the Virtuous to remove the Epsilon from the board. Well, we can at least go Camellia in order to send a Hornet Drones. We'll go Kagari to add it back, and they will Phimena here in chain in order to make Arthalion. They're going to Arthalion in order to bounce our Kagari, which means that we won't be able to get where we need to. We can try for the Ghost Mourner, but with the Cartesia on field, there's just nothing we can do about it. Okay, well, let's Hornet Drones regardless. We'll scoop it up, and at least we got to look at the token for 2 or 3 seconds. So it's time for game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta. Our opponent's on Yummy. 40 card Yummy. You disgust me. Let me show you the strength of Slop. They're going to begin with a copy of Hornet Drones. They will summon a token to their side of the field and make a Kagari effect in order to add the Hornet Drones back, and then activate the Hornet Drones in order to get a token before committing to Cupsy. Cupsy is going to activate here. I'll Ash Blossom, and then afterwards they'll just go ahead and synchro summon a copy of Cupsy Yummy Way. Cupsy Wupsy Whoopsie will get them everything they need, and they'll go for a Yummy Snatchy, sending a Mignon. Mignon can bring back the discarded Marshmallow, and then afterwards they can just go ahead and synchro summon a Lolipo. They'll perform the Soul Charge and then make Reproducus, Calling Fiend. Okay, we're not letting that happen. Nibiru time, buddy. We're going to set everything to the yard. They will tag out to bring back the Marshmallow and the Snatchy before everything goes, but any Yummy deck at this point can play through this. They'll go for Link Spider into Cookie Yummy. They will, oh no, impact my Nibiru before going for Lolipo, shuffling, and making a Cookie Yummy Way, a Linkaribo, setting 1 and passing with a Veiler in hand. We'll draw for turn. That's a pretty good one. We're going to begin with a copy of Tract. They will Cookie Yummy Way out a Lolipo and a Cupsy Yummy Way, which means at a point of resolution, when we discard the Lurry, they'll be able to get rid of it with the Lolipo. That's frustrating. Okay, we can go for Prayers here. They will chain the the effect of their synchro to get back Cupsy, Yummy, and Snatchy. We will add a copy of Habakiri to hand. They will Cupsy, Yummy, and Snatchy in order to get Query back and draw a card. We will go for our good friend, Mr. Mitsurugi, into Saji, dodging those two Veilers, thankfully, and then Ritual in order to perform a Ritual Summon. Our opponent's going to chain Yummy, Snatchy for Lollipo as we go for an Amino Murakumo. We'll activate its effect and the effect of Habakiri. They'll activate the effect of Query and the effect of Yummy Way. We'll activate the effect of Amino Murakumo. They'll activate the effect of their synchro and the effect of Effect Veiler to prevent me from going off. Everything to the yard. We do, thankfully, get our search at least. Okay, we'll go for Magnet Bonding. From here, we can go ahead and grab plus minus. We'll send a couple to the yard, and then afterwards we can use the effect of our Graveyard effect in order to go into Epsilon into Omega. They will Infinite Impermanence the Epsilon, but hey, that's still a 4, baby. All right, they'll go Snatchy here in order to perform a Synchro Summon. Here, Cookie. They're going to book both the plus minus and the Epsilon, but we can normal summon the Beta in order to grab a copy of Sigma minus. Well, Sigma minus, and what do you know? You can fuse with face down monsters, so down comes Conduction Warrior Plasma Magnum. That eats an Effect Veiler, which is irritating, but we can go to the battle phase and clean everything up. We'll do just that, and then of course proceed to main phase 2, at which point we can use Omega Plus in order to cycle out, set one card, and pass back to our opponent. They draw Nibiru. Oh, thank God. Sometimes winning a game is about outgassing your opponent. Well, call me the Diarrhea Duelist because I'm loaded up for game 2. Our opponent's going first once again, and they are going to begin with a copy of Marshmallow. They will chain the effect of Hornet Drones to get a token to their side of the field before they summon their Yummer. Afterwards, we will Fuelos. They'll go into Snatchy, activate the effect, and set a copy of a Query before passing. Boy, I love that card. Hey, look, it's Mirror. We're going to go for Raigeki here. Afterwards, they will activate the effect of a Query to summon a Cupsy from deck. They'll trigger the effect of the Cupsy in order to grab Surprise, but we should be able to put them in a losing position right now. We'll go extra RYZEAL for Sword. Special out the Sword like it's 2024. Grab a copy of Ice, overlay for a Duo Drive, and activate its effect in order to grab what we're missing. From here, we'll activate RYZEAL Cross, and we'll go for an Ice RYZEAL, normal summon an Ice RYZEAL for a Detonator, activating its effect to re-equip this copy of Mirror Logic Aggregator. We're going to draw a card here, and it is a Duotarion! That is not a bad rip. Okay, Magnet Bonding afterwards. That's going to be met with Dominus Purge, which unfortunately we can't negate, but we can go for the Mitsurugi Prayers in order to grab a Habakiri. Habakiri here is going to activate, sending this copy of Saji to the yard, and then triggering the effect of the Saji in order to grab a copy of Mitsurugi Prayers. We already have the Ritual spell in hand here, the Mirror, so we can summon out the Murakumo. We'll blow everything up and get in for 3, 25, and 32. Wow! So we're back with the deck, and oh boy, this is too much gas. I feel like Kanye. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1, you got a lot of options. I mean, if you get to them is one story, but you've got them. 2, the Garnet ratios actually aren't that bad. It feels good to kind of have a get-out-of-jail-free card on play sets of cards as well, since you have such a diminished chance to see multiples. And 3, post-board, your ability to target an end board skyrockets. It's actually so incredible to pivot into a known 100% win rate setup. And the cons. 1, boy, you can't beat Fuelos. 2, it's much less likely you'll find the cards that let you beat Fuelos. Ash, Called, Crossout. I mean, these get much less likely in 60. And 3, you can really get lost in the sauce on this. Often I'm just spinning wheels, hoping to get to an end board that I haven't even planned out. All in all, man, we got to get a new set. People are getting crazy out here. So that's that. Thanks so much for watching. This entire ordeal wouldn't be possible without the consistent funding I get from my patrons, some of whom have paid a lot of money for me to say their name at the end of the video. So here's me doing that. Absolutely Fran, Elena Tincher, Allison Elliott, Ally, APK Pearly Tier 0, Brett Henry, Broski TCG, Cap, Cool Name, Dark Rebel XYZ, DJ Elefante, El Gravo, Emiliano Deverio, NB Adams, Fabrizio Petroli, Hergalicious, Jackie Z, James Place, JP, Cole Offline, Creature, Legal Rights, Lucas Rosas, Luis Hernandez, Master Key 090, Matthew M. Derezo, MBT Hablando en Español, MBT Play Madolce, Mike Carlotti, N54 Lionheart, Nacho, Pombo, Pyramid Artisan Field Cloths and TCG Accessories, Ransom My Thing, Rohan Doge, Rose Lapine, Serpentax, Shifter.mp8, Sly Ninja 43, Susie's Strongest Soldier, Troy Says By Erasure Is Gay, Uznik, Yuki Kazami, and Zircon Sun. Couldn't have done it without you.